Welcome to the operating room. Before the first incision happens, surgical success relies on strict predictive organization. We've broken down 20 essential surgical instruments into 4 core functional categories. Instead of memorizing 20 separate instruments in a vacuum, we will categorize them by their core functional roles, making it intuitive to grab the right tool for the job. Start by placing the kidney tray on your sterile drape. This shallow steel basin acts as the foundational organizer for the field, placed early to catch irrigation fluids and securely hold discarded tools. By grouping these instruments by their core functions, the tray becomes a highly organized toolkit, ensuring you immediately know where to look, whether you need to cut, clamp, grasp, or retract. Step 1 is the opening phase. Our immediate objective is to break the skin and penetrate the dense abdominal fascia underneath. Look closely at the bare tip of this barred Parker, or BP handle. It features a specialized slotted alignment wedge where disposable blades slide and safely lock into place for that initial cut. To grip the slippery layers of skin and fascia as you cut, you need toothed tissue forceps. Their fine 1x2 interlocking teeth secure the tissue tightly without slipping. Next in the sequence are the Mayo scissors. Unlike standard scissors, these are built with heavy, thick blades specifically designed to cut through dense, resistive tissues. In this initial entry, delicate handling takes a backseat. We prioritize aggressive structural grip and heavy cutting force to secure rapid access to the abdomen. First up, clamping and hemostatic instruments. These are your go-to tools for controlling bleeding and occluding vessels. Start with mosquito forceps for fine, superficial blood vessels, leaving the larger standard Kelly or Crowell forceps for heavier work. Those standard forceps feature full-length transverse serrations along their jaws. This specific texture ensures a reliable, secure occlusion on larger, higher-pressure vessels. To keep the wound open, grab your superficial retractors. You can use the classic L-shaped profile of the Langenbeck or the dual-ended S retractor to gently elevate skin flaps. Gaining control is purely an exercise in field visibility. We are converting a bleeding incision into a stable, tightly managed access point. Now we move into the abdominal cavity. The internal organs are highly vulnerable, which dictates a complete change in the physical requirements of our instruments. First, we secure the space using heavy-duty deep retractors. The Morris handles the deep abdominal walls, while the large C-shaped Deaver safely holds back internal viscera. You will also rely on highly specialized retraction geometries. The wide, scoop-like Doyen protects the bladder, while the completely straight, malleable ribbon retractor can be custom bent by hand to fit any cavity shape. With the cavity exposed, we switch our cutting tool to Metzenbaum scissors. These are sleek, lightweight, and strictly intended for blunt and sharp dissection of delicate soft tissue. Look at the structural difference here. The thick Mayo scissors on the left are for dense tissue, while the slender shanks and thin blades of the Metzenbaum on the right will be ruined if used on heavy fascia. Entering deep access requires leaving brute force behind. We rely entirely on geometry-specific instruments to avoid collateral damage. Grasping internal organs requires categorizing your tools by their impact on tissue, ranging from safely cradling delicate structures to aggressively locking onto masses destined for removal. On the left side of this comparison, the Babcock forceps feature smooth, flared, and fenestrated loops. These safely cradle delicate tubular structures, like the appendix, without crushing them. In contrast, the Alice forceps on the right use an interlocking comb of small, sharp teeth. You only use the Alice on dense tissue that is actively marked for excision. For the ultimate aggressive hold, use the Kosher or Ochsner forceps. It combines transverse serrations with heavy 1x2 teeth at the tip to prevent any slippage on stubborn tissue. When navigating deep dissections, you need the right angle or Mixter forceps. Its distinct 90-degree bent tip is designed for passing sutures behind hard-to-reach vessels. Finally, keep your non-toothed tissue forceps, or planes, nearby. Their horizontally grooved, flat, blunt tips safely manipulate highly delicate internal structures. Internal grasping is a precise calculation. Every move requires balancing absolute grip security with careful tissue preservation. Finally, for suturing, precision is everything. Your primary tool is the needle holder forceps, also known as the Mayo Hagar. Notice its distinctly short, stubby, thick-set jaws. Inside those jaws, deep cross-hatched serrations and a central groove work together to clamp curved needles tightly, preventing them from rotating mid-stitch. To assist with suturing, tools from the opening phase return to the field. You will use the toothed tissue forceps to align the skin edges and the heavy Mayo scissors to cut thick suture strands. The closing phase directly mirrors the opening. We bring the timeline full circle, combining specialized needle drivers with our heavy-duty foundational tools. Look at the fully assembled tray. We have built a logical progression that tracks straight from the opening, through control and deep access, right to the final closure. Now it is your turn. Take your practice kits and physically recreate this exact chronological layout from memory. Knowing the name of an instrument is helpful, but the goal is to recognize exactly when the anatomy requires a specific change in tool. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next session.